Well, it's Tuesday, and as you can see, we're doing another collector's attic. We haven't done those in a while because we sort of covered most of what we have in the attic. I keep finding things up there that I didn't even remember that we had. So I suppose we could still do a few collector's attics. But the inspiration here is I bought another piece of rolling stock. I need more rolling stock, like I need a hole in the head or an extra hole in the head because I already have several. But at any rate, what I bought came up on eBay was a precision scale brass tank car, a Gramps tank car. It's right there. Back in the day, now we covered this in scales and gauges, so this is going to be redundant if you've seen that. But back in the late 1980s, going into the 1990s, there was this kind of assumption that if you're really going to do fine scale, in the larger scales, you would do half-inch scale. The track we're all using is a number 1 gauge track. In other words, 1 3/4 inches or 45 millimeters. And that was the track. And so even though at half-inch scale, that made the gauge 1/4 inch too wide, which is substantially too wide. But it was like, well, deal with it. LGB had been doing all of their equipment in 122.5 scale because the equipment they were doing was meter gauge, and then that made it correct. But the American stuff had all been done in half-inch scale, which was noticeably smaller than that. The advantage is if you were doing fine scale, the assumption was you were also going to be doing that in the house, not out in the garden. And so you wanted something smaller, something that could go around sharper curves. You could just fit a lot more stuff in the confined space that you have. Well, half-inch scale just got blown out. Later on, it was like, well, if you're going to do American, it should be done in FN3 scale. In other words, 120.3 scale, which is what we've done predominantly here. And so a lot of the half-inch scale stuff is just sort of fallen by the wayside. Nobody wants it because it's too small and it looks funny. But boy, back in that day, Delton came out with all their beautiful brass in half-inch scale, and then Precision Scale did a few brass items. They did a beautiful shay and a few things in half-inch scale. And one of the things they did was this little tank car here. And as you can see, this is the Bachmann version of the same tank car in 120.3. Here's the Precision Scale in half-inch scale. And boy, they don't look very good together, do they? Because that's just how much smaller half-inch scale is. Well, when this came up on eBay for a very good price, because nobody wants half-inch scale anymore, I thought, I'm a hopeless collector, and back in the day, I bought a lot of half-inch stuff. I bought, half-inch scale stuff, 24th scale, because I thought that was going to be the scale, right? And so I bought a lot of stuff, and I haven't gotten rid of it, and I still have it. And so it's like, well, I can, I don't mix them together. They'd look silly if I put a 20.3 scale locomotive on with the half-inch scale cars or mix them together like you see here in the same train. It just would look silly. But I have enough equipment around here in half-inch scale that I'll just put together an entire half-inch scale train and run it. As I just don't mix them up. And yeah, they look a little silly maybe going by the larger structures, but here you can see a 20.3 scale coal-in tower, and okay, so the tank car here was a little small for that, but how would you really know? It looks okay. As long as I don't mix the equipment together, I think it works just fine. But you can see here is a Delton half-inch scale passenger car next to an AMS, a version of the exact same thing, the AMS being in 120.3 scale, the Delton car here being in 24th scale, half-inch scale. And you can see that they they don't look very good together, do they? But boy, I'd be willing to bet if I were to line up all my half-inch scale equipment, well, I've got 3, 4, 5, 6 locomotives in half-inch scale, and probably, I don't know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 pieces of rolling stock. I've got boxcars, reefers, a whole bunch of reefers. The hobby shop was closing out their reefers. Nobody wanted them. He said, if you'll take the whole business for like $20. So I bought every one he had in the store. So I have a lot of rolling stock. I only have one caboose, whatever that's worth. But, and then all these different locomotives. And I thought, even though this is an oddball thing, precision scale brass, boy, they did some beautiful stuff. And this is a gorgeous car. It's a really well-detailed brass car. It's just that, well, nobody wants it because it's half-inch scale. Well, I do because I run a lot of half-inch. So I bought it and got a really good price on it. And what the heck, when I'm running half-inch scale, I'll cut that into the consist and have a beautiful brass tank car in the consist. So anyway, there you have it. The precision scale brass tank car. Very well appointed, very well detailed, beautiful little car. And they almost never pop up. And then when they do, you can buy them for less than they cost back in 1985 or whatever it was, and given the devaluation of the dollar, and then on top of that, the devaluation of brass, it's just, well, they're just very affordable at this point in time. So what the heck, I bought it. Anyway, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, please subscribe, and you can easily do that by clicking on the upcoming blue button. Zoink! The blue button. Well, we're not sure how you found this video on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring. And Karen and I will see you here on Sunday. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.